Morning. My name is Marc. I'm the Director of Research and Communications here at Ifri. I'm here on behalf of Thomas Gomar, our director, who usually opens this conference. Unfortunately, today he couldn't make it for personal reason, and he's really sorry about it. We're here today for the annual conference of our newly rebranded Center for Asian and Indo-Pacific Studies. I'm very pleased to welcome you, especially those of you who come from very, very far away. Thanks for being here today. And welcome also to all our guests who are online. So today, it's the annual conference of the Center for Asian and Indo-Pacific Studies, and we're going to discuss the very timely topic of economic security, the risking, and what these concepts mean for East Asia and for relations between Europe, the US, and Asia. This conference has been made possible, as usually, by our numerous sponsors, and in particular by the generous support of the Taipei Representative Office in France. Thanks in particular to you, Your Excellency François Wu, Taipei's representative here today, for your interest in these discussions. And thanks also to Ifri's team, the logistics, and also, of course, the team of the Center for Asian and Indo-Pacific Studies, namely Françoise Nicolas, John Seaman, Marc Julien, and Céline Pajon. The topic of today's conference, economic security and the risking, is part of a broader discussion we've been having here at Ifri over the years and will continue to have in the months and years to come as geopolitical tensions rise, particularly between the US and China. Meanwhile, Europe seeks to lessen its vulnerabilities and searches for its own sources of strengths, many of which can be found in the economic domain. Back in 2019, when Ifri celebrated its 40th anniversary, we organized a high-level conference at the Sorbonne University to examine Europe's place within the US-China rivalry. The notions of sovereignty, dependence, interdependence, vulnerability, and economic security were already important at the time. Interdependence used to be perceived as a stabilizing factor in the international system. However, since the COVID-19 pandemic and with the war in Ukraine, we have increasingly come focus on our critical dependencies and the extent to which we're vulnerable. Economic statecraft has become an increasingly core feature of geopolitical rivalry and power politics. We feel that strongly in Europe, and it's also strongly felt in Asia. What we hope to do today is get a better sense of how economic security is understood by our partners in East Asia, how the concept is shaping regional dynamics, how it impacts relations with extra-regional partners, namely the US and Europe, and how policies and strategies by each of these two reflect back in the region. As you know, the European Commission has recently edited an economic security strategy, and we'll talk much more about that this afternoon. But as always, here at Ifri, we're keen to learn how the debates in other regions of the world can help us make better policy here in France and in Europe. The experiences of our partners in East Asia will hold valuable lessons for us. In the weeks, months, and years to come here at Ifri, we'll be working more intensely on these topics of geoeconomics and economic statecraft. We'll launch a special initiative on these topics, so please do stay tuned. I'd like to thank all the participants here today in advance for your analysis and your ideas, which will not only help us to make better policy in Europe, but will also help us further structure the work we'll be doing here at Ifri. Now, before I leave you in the very capable hands of Françoise Nicolas and her team, I would like to yield the floor to His Excellency François Wu, representative of the Taipei Representative Office in France. Your Excellency, the floor is yours.
Dear Mr. Haker, Director of Research and Communications of Ifri. Dear friends, bonjour and good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are right now. My name is François Wu Chih-chung. I am the ambassador of Taiwan in France. It is a great privilege of mine to be invited to attend this conference on economic security, and East Asia, de-risking in an era of strategic competition, which is for sure Taiwan's main concern, but as well as France and the world. Let me begin by thanking Ifri for inviting me to this remarkable event. It is also a great honor for me to share with you some views conference, especially at such a critical moment for global peace and in a time when the world is facing a range of urgent, complex, successive geopolitical crises. Our dialogue bears extraordinary significance. From the militant group Hamas attack on Israeli civilians early October, the ongoing challenge of Russia's unprovoked invasion of Ukraine, to recovering global supply chain, the global community is confronting a number of unprecedented crises. Now, more than ever, China increases rhetorical and military threat is jeopardizing regional peace and stability. Taiwan has been struggling to defend against the military threat, economic coercion, cyber attack, disinformation campaign, and many other actions that seek to undermine its democratic system and value. Taiwan is not only a vibrant economic powerhouse, but also a focal point in the ongoing strategic competition in East Asia. As we navigate this complex landscape, it is important that we address the challenge and explore measures to safeguard the economic security in the region. Taiwan ranks as the world's 21st largest economy. The GDP of Taiwan is nearly the same as Turkey, but larger than Sweden and 2 times the size of Vietnam. We know that France pays a lot of attention in Africa. If geographically we can move Taiwan to Africa, we are even the first economic power in Africa, bigger than Nigeria or South Africa. The importation plus exportation of Taiwan is bigger than Australia. Moreover, Taiwan plays a significant role in the global supply chain, particularly in the high-tech industry. Taiwanese semiconductor manufacturing company produce more than 84% of the most advanced chips in the world. Taiwan's high-tech capability is what the world needs in the process of restructuring and establishing secure, reliable, and resilient global supply chain. The global semiconductor shortage during the COVID-19 pandemic underscored Taiwan's critical role in the world economy. The reason why the stability across Taiwan Strait concerns the world is that it is one of the major driving forces of the global economy. Any source of instability in the region will have a huge impact on the whole world. Our partnership with France and other European countries has flourished based on our shared value. On behalf of the people and the government of Taiwan, I would like to take this opportunity to express our deep appreciation to friends around the world, including France, other members of G7, the European Union, and those who have voiced their concern over the situation across the Taiwan Strait. We are reassured that we are not alone. We also call for more solidarity to preserve the peace and the stability across the Taiwan Strait. France's continued engagement with Taiwan, coupled with its commitment to a peaceful resolution of issues in the Taiwan Strait, is a positive step toward maintaining peace and stability in the region. Let us all remain dedicated to dialogue, cooperation, and the pursuit of lasting solutions that benefit people of France, Taiwan, the broader Indo-Pacific region and the international community as a whole. Despite the increasing tension in the Taiwan Strait, our government is seeking to manage pragmatically cross-strait ties and establish a consistent, predictable, and sustainable cross-strait relationship. Taiwan is well conscious of its key role and sitting on the front line of the global contest between the liberal democratic order and the authoritarian alternative. Taiwanese people are also determined to shoulder their responsibility of defending the country and fighting for freedom. Dear friend, our shared obstacle requires all hands on deck. The world may face a greater challenge in the future, but I believe that by standing united and keeping our belief in our shared value, we will overcome the challenge that we face. Taiwan has proved to be a reliable and indispensable partner, and the people of Taiwan stand ready to contribute. Let's work together as one for the global good. Finally, and above all, let me wish this conference another Ifri's great success. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup de votre attention. Merci.